Good morning, commuters. Matt Malone here for the Malone's Commute podcast. Ford Escape, 83,545 miles. A very warm and very humid July 2nd. It's a Tuesday. Oh, it's got to be 75, 78 degrees already out here. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a hot one. Going to be mixing up some gravy today. Yikes. So how are you? Good morning. Good to see you. Didn't do a podcast yesterday. Didn't feel like it, so I didn't do it. It's enough excuse. All right. But today we're back at it. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Did you do any racing over the weekend? I know I did not, unfortunately. I did get the that iRacing iFlag pit boss up and running. So I'll have that for the next time I race. Hopefully it'll be today. It's just, it's made by the same people that make that iFlag thing, that really bright LED box thing that you see on the stream. But this thing's it's a pit boss. So it shows you current weather, shows you your fuel. It's like a fuel calculator / just information box that runs. I didn't technically like mount it to the rig at all yet, so I got to figure out somehow to mount it. But hopefully the plan is, if I don't work overtime today, which I won't know until tonight or later today, plan would be to do a stream today. Tuesday stream seems to be pretty good. So we'll see how that works out. If it works out, we've been really busy. We had one of the guys retire. Friday was his last day. And so we're technically like down a man now. So been covering jobs here and there and trying to make it work. We should probably hire someone else, but we'll see how that goes. Oh boy. Yeah, what happened to the nice 65 degree days? We're in the dog days of summer now. It's warm out there. It's hot. So hot. What are some of the things you do to keep cool? Got to keep cool out there, folks. You got to stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. Make sure you use that suntan lotion. I did not yesterday. I got a little red. I got a little red yesterday. I got my farmer's tan is in full bloom. So, yeah. A lot of the, you see a lot of Mexicans, and a lot of the Mexicans, they wear long sleeves when it's like really hot. I'm like, what are these people, crazy? But wearing long sleeves, and then when you sweat, it helps you stay cool, I guess. I don't know. I never went full blown into trying that out. You can wear those, like, you can wet down like a bandana and put that around your neck. You can, some guys will put a wet bandana underneath their hard hat. Stay cool. Because if you have something wet and then you get a little breeze, then it helps. But man, the humidity just kills you regardless. If it's really hot and humid and then there's no breeze, I mean, you're pretty much just going to die. I mean, that's the bottom line. Pretty much just going to die. So I have the luxury during work to kind of hang out in the work truck if it gets too hot, do some air quotes paperwork. So, I'm not out and about in the elements all day. I get some relief sometimes. Sit in the work truck a little bit, run the air, do some paperwork, but so it's not all bad for me. But yeah, when it gets hot, people get angry. People get hot and bothered, Tempers flare. This guy's brake lights are obviously not working. No brake lights. You ought to get that checked on that Toyota Yaris. I know you're getting 45 miles to the gallon, but if your brake lights aren't working, you're bound to get rear-ended. That wouldn't be good for anyone. Ever suffer whiplash? It's no laughing matter. Anyway, Yeah, one guy was real hot and bothered yesterday. He's an iron worker putting in the rebar. He just started yelling and screaming and swearing up a storm, and everyone just looks around and be like, yep, that guy's having a great day, isn't he? What are you going to do? Sympathize with him? Okay, there. Be like, oh, you having a bad day? Having a case of the Mondays? He's going to chuck a number 7 bar right through your chest. You don't want to mess with a guy that's literally like his entire shirt is soaking wet with sweat. And he starts screaming and yelling. It's like, oh boy. You just kind of stand there, pretend like it never happened. Oh boy. So, anywho, yeah. My commute, yeah, here we are. Do you guys commute? How far do you guys commute? Man, I remember the days when I had like a 6 or 7 minute commute. Oh, those were the days. Wake up at the time you're supposed to be at work. No. It's good times though. Nice little drive. Saw some deer yesterday. Beautiful deer. Couple of does looking for a little snack in the morning, and then they go hide out during the day. They go find some tall grass or some wooded areas, and they just lay down and chill, sleep all day, I believe. I don't know. Never really seen too many deer out in the daytime. More of a early morning, evening kind of animal. But July 4th is coming up. You got any big plans for the 4th? It's a U.S. holiday, so I get the day off of work. Oh yeah, you couldn't have waited literally 4 seconds, buddy, to pull out like that. Jeez, come on. 4 seconds, probably 3 seconds for us to pass, and then he could have pulled out. But no, gotta pull out. Yeah. Thanks, bud. That's what I don't understand. Like, people sitting in intersections, people pulling out. Like, if you really I've timed this stuff before. Be like, should I have gone? Be like, no, I'll just wait for these 2 cars, and then you count in your head 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can go now. Oh wow, 3 seconds of my life. People don't get it, man. They just want to go. But yeah, July 4th is coming up. It's on a Thursday. It falls on a Thursday this year, which is that kind of sucks. It'd be nice for it to fall on a Friday or a Monday so you can get an extended weekend. But the plan would be that I don't work on Thursday, but then you got to come back for that Friday, and it's like, oh, that's stupid. So, see how that goes. I guess if I can, it'd be nice to stream Thursday morning. Get a regular EU-friendly stream on Thursday morning. I know we're having dinner with my folks on Thursday. Having some, going over to my parents' house. They haven't caught up with the parents in a while. So it'd be nice to visit with Mr. and Mrs. Malone. See how everything's going. It's good to spend time with the family as much as you can. Have a nice little dinner with them. We're having ribs. Ooh, ribs. We're over at my buddy's house on Saturday, and he's got a smoker, and he smoked some ribs starting at like 10 a.m., and we ate them at like 3 p.m., so he's smoking ribs for 5 hours, and oh my gosh, they were really good. I don't think there was any ribs left. Just good food, good people, lots of kids, man. See all my friends. Oh, hard on the brakes. Oh, red light. See all my friends got married and had kids like way before me. Well, I still haven't had kids yet, but at least I'm married. So, my friends, they got 6, 7, 8-year-olds, some 4-year-olds mixed in, a couple of 2-year-olds. It was quite the kids' party. I think this guy to my left's like, oh, what are you doing, buddy? Hey, calm down. I'm doing the Malone's podcast, okay? It's more of a on-the-go type of podcast. So, yeah, whenever we go over there, it's kind of a madhouse. They got a great house for it, though. They got a big, big kitchen. So we just kind of hang out in the kitchen the entire time. Lots of food, and the kids are running in and out. It's fun, but it's chaotic, man. Like it's nice to just go home when you don't have kids and just kind of chill, do whatever you want. It's quiet. You can watch whatever you want on the TV. There's no one bugging you, no one screaming, no one yelling, no one getting hurt, no one punching the dog. You know, it's just like there's always something going on when there's like 7 kids running around. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is how your life is? Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm like, oh geez. I'm like, maybe we can hold off for a little longer. But it's fun, you know. But when you get that many kids, because they had a lot of friends over that had kids, so it was like, you just combine them. And they like, I swear these kids like feed off of each other. It's like Captain Planet. You ever seen that show back in the day? It's a cartoon animated series called Captain Planet. And when you get all the characters together, they could join forces and create Captain Planet. And so it was like, you know, just having one of them around, it's not so bad. But then when you add like 6 or 7 of them, it's like something happens where they join forces and become just ultimate crazy people. So you got to use the right lane here. Get a little jump on the competition. So yeah, I think it made me definitely appreciate life with no children at this point. But it's all in all, it's fun, you know. You know, the kids, you know, maybe they got a little bowl of goldfish crackers, you know, maybe they drop some, you know, so you pick them up for them off the ground and you put them back in their bowl, and like, there you go, little Timmy. Like, enjoy your goldfish. Oh, thank you, Uncle Malone. Every time you see these kids, they're growing another foot. Insane. But yeah, it was a good time. Just standing around at the kitchen. That's all we do when we hang out. It's fine. A kitchen is a nice place to hang out. Very social area of the house, you know. I don't remember the last time we all would just sit in the living room. You know, you just stand there at the kitchen, get some drinks, get some food. They got a big spread, a smorgasbord, if you will, of snacks and treats. And then the ribs came out of the smoker. Woo, that was some good stuff. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Sunday, didn't do jack. Mind you, because I had a couple too many Jack and Cokes on that Saturday. But it's all good. And those are the friends that we went to Vegas with. And they're already planning on going to Vegas again in December. Oh, no. I'm like, oh, boy. So we'll see. It's like the second week of December. I guess I'll probably be laid off work at that point. I don't know. So maybe I'll make it happen. Try to fly out of the local airport. Seems to work out all right. But if you've never been to Vegas, it's good times, man. Good times. Just don't bring too much money. Don't bring money you can't afford to lose. Guarantee you that. We did all right for ourselves though when we went to Vegas. That was a lot of fun. Made just enough to make it worth it. Made just enough to keep gambling, you know. But there's so much other things to do in Vegas besides gambling. But when you're only there for a couple 3 days, it's like, well, visit all the casinos, check out all the tables, lay down the money, do some gambling. It's all in good fun. All in good fun. You're just paying for entertainment, you know. But I know they passed. I don't know if it's just sports betting or if it's like universal betting nationwide now. So I believe sports betting is now legal nationwide in the States when it used to be like just Vegas. So I don't know if like I said, I think it's just sports betting. So I don't know if you're going to have like, if it's open up to everything, like you're going to see casinos popping up all throughout the country like Vegas would have. I mean, Vegas is obviously number one gambling capital of the world, maybe just the U.S., but I don't know of any other place around the world that has, you know, that is just known for gambling than Vegas. So I don't think it'll ever lose like that label, but Yeah, I forget if it's just sports betting or all gambling is now legal and nationwide, but I don't know, who knows. I don't think that's a great idea. I know what's legal in Illinois, the state of Illinois, those slot machines. So you get a lot of places popping up that's just slots. Like you go in there and play the slot machines, and it's just so dumb. Those are like the worst return. You never win. It's so stupid. It's just like, what people are going in there and putting all this money in there? I mean, I could see if it was attached to a bar. Like I've been in bars where there's a couple slot machines in the corner, and it's like, yeah, we'll go put $20 in, see some pretty lights, lose $20, whatever. It's not like you're getting free drinks sitting there, like you would in Vegas, but, there's places that are just slots, like just slots. Like, who's going in these places, man? You got some seedy people going in there, spending their whole paycheck. It's not good for, like, they talk about the scratch-off tickets and the Powerball, where it's literally just a tax on poor people, where, like, people make, like, $100 a week, and they go spend 90 of it on scratch-off tickets, and 99% of them lose all their money. And it's like, stop spending your money on scratch-off tickets, please. It's like, why do you do this? But they always gear it towards, like, low-income areas, and that's what it's for. It's a tax on poor people. And it's like, why are you being predators near these areas? It's like, just stop. But it's working. I mean, people have free choice. I mean, they don't have to go spend their paycheck on scratch-off tickets. So, like, a part of me is like, whatever. If they're the ones buying them, then sell it to them. Well, what are you going to do? But it seems a little predatory in some of these areas. I remember in the Dominican Republic, we went to the Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, for our honeymoon. This was way before everyone was dying in the Dominican Republic. And one day we took an excursion, and you had to get in like a bus, and drive through the local towns to get to where you were going to do the little excursion. And what amazed me the most is you're driving through these little towns, and there's no electricity, there's no, it's crazy, there's no AC or anything, and all the houses are just like open air houses. There's like no front door on it, there's no windows, because they need like the breeze so they don't cook inside their house, so they don't boil to death because it's so hot. And it's just crazy. And then you get like little markets and a lot of like motorcycle fix-em-upper mechanic places. But then every half a mile there would be a lottery shack. It'd just be a little shack, almost like a little guard shack, and it was just it was a place where you could play the lottery. And I'm like, oh my goodness, oh no, don't do it. I remember driving, and there was a guy out in the field taking a healthy dump, and I made eye contact with him. That was I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the time I made eye contact with a Dominican Republic native taking a huge dump out in the field just off the road. He's just squatting. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. All right, thanks. Oh geez. But that was a culture shock, really. I was like, man, this is how people live? It's crazy. I mean, most people live like that. If you're thinking about just straight up population, what is there? 7 billion, 8 billion people now in the world? And most of them, I believe most of them don't live with, electricity or anything like that. I mean, that's how most people live. You tend to forget about that when you're always in a air-controlled environment, and TV and in front of you, and a way to cook food, and grocery stores, and turn on, you flip the light switch and the lights come on. Wow, that's amazing. You don't have to rely on just the sun to illuminate your house. What a world we live in, I tell you. First, so if any issues that you have, if you're ever complaining, if you ever think you got it rough, just think about the guy pooping in a field with no electricity, and then all your worries seem to drift away. Turn up that AC a little bit. Turn on that TV. But first world problems are definitely different than third world problems. I mean, it's just a whole different type of thing. I think in America, I think a lot of people are stressed out. They got a lot of things on their plate. You know, the first world brings a whole different type of problems to you. And who's to say whether or not they're just as bad or worse or, you know, than third world people's problems. I mean, I've seen TV shows, okay, where they show third world communities, and I tell you what, man, there's more smiles on those people's faces than like a video of people in New York City trying to get to work. I mean, they're not having fun. They're stressed out. So take it all in perspective. You know, some of these third world villages and, you know, towns and places, you know, they have basic needs, and, you know, some of these people's needs they're being met, you know, for the most part. I know there's a lot of issues going on in certain places of the world, but for the most part, a lot of those people, they seem happy, you know. They ain't got much, they ain't got two sticks to rub together, and they live in a hut. But you know what? They got a community of people, and they, for the most part, I'm sure they probably have food every day. You know, they'll build a fire and sing some songs, and they got their own thing going. You know, they don't got to worry about. They probably don't even have a clock. You know, like how dependent are we on checking the time? Oh, what time is it? I got to be here at this time. I got to be there at this time. Oh, this guy's meeting me here at this time, and I got to have this done by this time, and checking the calendar. You know, not only do you got to check the clock per day, but then it's a calendar thing. So like, by the end of this month, I got to have this done, and by next month, this other thing is starting, and, you know, it's stressful. It's, you know, these people, it's like, well, what are we going to eat today? It's like, oh, you know, we're going to go, you know, have a plantain. Got myself a nice plantain. Get some rice. You know, that's it. You know, it's a day-by-day kind of thing. You know, maybe one day they'll build a hut, you know. Maybe they got some of the women in the village are having some kids. You know, the village needs to get bigger, so they're going to go build a hut today, and that's it. You know, they put in a hard days of work. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of these people, they just got a big old freaking grin on their face. Part of me feels jealous. And then you see what's going on in our country, and it's just like, man, people don't seem happy. You know, they just don't seem like they're very happy. It's not good. I mean, what's the difference? If you had a sense of happiness every day, but yet you lived in a hut and you ate rice, but you were genuinely happy. You genuinely were happy. You felt a sense of community. Would you trade it? Would you trade it in? If you were guaranteed to be happy, yes, you might be hungry sometimes. But overall, you were genuinely happy. You had a good life with good family, good friends, a sense of real community. Would you trade it in for your flat screen? Would you trade it for your flat screen and your Toyota Corolla and your $50,000 job and your steak dinners? Would you trade it in? Would you trade it? Would you take the rice and beans and the community? Would you rather have that than your 9 o'clock meeting and that confrontation you have with your boss and the fights you have with your family and the insurance companies and the politicians on TV, the news media yelling at you, would you trade it? I don't know, man. We think we got it pretty good, but there's something that most people are missing, and I think they don't even know what they're missing. And I think it's a sense of community. I think the more population grows, the more people that live in your town or, city, the more people that live around you, the less sense of community you have. Imagine living, imagine that okay, let's say you live in a subdivision. I don't know if you live in a subdivision, but let's just say you live in a subdivision, in a 1 mile radius, there's maybe, 30, 40, 50, 60 families that live around you, right? In the vicinity. Imagine all of those people in like a tent commune, right? And you all have to work together to work the garden. You're all together for the big bonfire. You know everyone's first name. You know everyone's kids' names. You know what everyone's doing. You've worked with them in the fields. You hang out at night. You got things going. A real sense of community. A real sense of togetherness. And then you contrast that with you wake up, you leave your house, you're in your little steel box here on rubber tires. Like this guy in front of me. I don't know who the hell this guy is. I don't know him from Adam. I don't know anybody. I don't even know most of my neighbors, much less even barely talk to them. And you're trying to get to work, you're flipping people off or cutting you off. There's just no connectivity there with your fellow human being. Is this the way to live? I don't know. A lot of people, they're like, just give me a house. Just give me a house out in the boonies somewhere where I can be away from everybody. Is that good? I don't know. And then you see these people in third world countries, and they're all together. They're dancing. They're singing. They're together. I wonder what would happen, what they would think. That be like, hey, so from now on, you're just gonna live like alone with just your wife and your kids. You're just gonna live alone, and you're on your own. Good luck. They'd probably get depressed and angry, and just like the way we are. I'm about to run out of fuel. I should make it to the gas station. So I don't know where that came out of, but just thinking out loud, just thinking out loud. Now I know a lot of third world countries, they don't have food, they don't have clean water, and it is very bad, and I'm not talking about that kind of living, but, and I think the Western world does have somewhat of a responsibility to try to take care of them, or, even just educate them on the fact that, hey, that's like what Samantha's running the Chicago Marathon, and she's doing it in collaboration with Team World Vision. And Team World Vision, look it up, they're a pretty highly reputable charity that goes to the third world countries, and they teach the local villagers, the local residents, on how to dig a well, right? So they teach people how to dig a well, they dig more wells, and then those villagers, have the knowledge on how to obtain clean water. So then they go to the, other villages and teach them, and it just spreads, and instead of showing up with a truck full of bottled water and handing it out, Team World Vision is involved in an organization they are an organization that actually teaches people how to dig a well and get clean water. And so, I think it's the responsibility of people like us, people that live in the Western world, to, try to do our best to provide, education and resources to these third world countries, and not in a way that's going to cause unintended consequences. Like some organizations, like I said, they just show up with a truck and dump some rice out, and it's like, well, it's not always the best, But then you got to deal with like drug lords, and if you just send them some money, it's not really going to help them. What are they going to do with money? They need education. They need, resources to build resources to be sustainable for where they are. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough out there. Africa is absolutely massive. Like, I remember growing up in school where they didn't really talk about the size of Africa very much, and then now, later on as an adult, I find out that Africa is like literally as big as like all the countries combined. Because on the globe, or no, not on a globe, but if you take a flat map, I'm not talking about flat Earth. If you take a flat map, like as you look at the Earth on a map, like in a book, they're not going to give you a book that's in the shape of a globe, so they have to flatten it out. And whenever you flatten out a map, like things have to get resized, and there's a whole nother conspiracy about the way they portray Africa on maps. They intentionally make it smaller. I don't really agree with that. I think it's just because it's on. I think they make America bigger because America is much higher up from the equator. So when you flatten out a map, it tends to be a little bit smaller. So then they make it a little bit bigger, just kind of fit the page. Who the hell knows? I'm not a mapographist. A mapographist? No. But Africa is absolutely freaking huge. It is absolutely the biggest continent. It is just massive. You can fit all of America and Europe, and I think Russia fits in there. I've seen the map before. It's absolutely massive. It's not like it's just massive, and there's a lot of people that live there, and a lot of people need help, and a lot of people are just fine though. They don't want our help. Which is fine too. If you're doing fine and you got your own little village going, what's for us to say that? Not everybody needs air conditioning, right? I mean, they're living off the land just fine. They operate perfectly fine in those conditions, I mean, you got medicines and stuff like that, which, the Western world tries to help out, I'm sure, but, they've been doing it for thousands of years. What's for us to say that they should all get flat screen TVs and Nikes, I mean, what's for us to say that this is the best way of living? I'm just thinking out loud, guys. Just thinking out loud. Maybe living in the air conditioning with a flat screen TV and a BMW parked outside with a 9-to-5 job. Maybe that's not how we're meant to operate. Okay. Maybe we can take a little lesson from some of these third world countries and take aspects of what they do in their life to better improve ours. Mostly the sense of community, living off the land, sustaining yourself, stuff like that, just thinking out loud. Anyway, I guess that's about it. I'm going to run out of fuel, 33 minutes, perfect. Well, it's going to be a steamer today, guys, no doubt about it. It's going to be a steamer. It's going to be a Stanley steamer today. So stay hydrated, stay cool, stay dry, try to stay dry, and if it's not hot where you are, then enjoy yourself. But like I said, I'm going to try to stream today. If I get off work at a reasonable hour, I'll pass it on the outside, Malone. Good job. So be looking out for that, usually around 5 p.m. I'm not going to try to rush home. Maybe I'll just mosey on home and try to just stay kind of relaxed. I get like all stressed out when I'm like, okay, I'm going to stream, and then I rush home so I can hurry up, get on, and then it's like, oh, here I am. So maybe I'll just mosey on home and try to stay calm a little bit more. I don't want to stress myself out. Maybe I'll just miss that 5 o'clock race and just practice, kind of hang out with you guys, and just kind of hang out, do a little practicing before like an IMSA race or something, or mix it up a little bit today. I don't know. We'll see. It's all new tracks, so a week changed over, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and be safe out there. And we will hopefully talk to you tonight. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Like if you like, dislike if you liked. Oh no, I don't really care. Do whatever you want. Hope you enjoy it. Goodbye.